I love Wunderlist. I'm obsessed with it. It's phenomenal. But there are two elements that I've absolutely just adore in Asana, and it really, really, really makes it tough for me in Wunderlist because they're just part of a pretty steady workflow, and that is because you guys are kind of missing one additional level of hierarchy. So if someone wants to be able to do, like for example, myself, I'm a consultant. So I like to be able to have, like in Asana, they call them workspaces, a workspace for a client, then the projects for each of those clients, then the tasks for each of those projects, and then the subtasks for each of those individual tasks that are sorted. So in your guys' case, you have kind of a folder-ish, and then you have task lists, tasks, subtasks. But there are two features in particular that when I'm in here creating my tasks in my list, if I hit the colon mark, then I can put a header, like a section, basically sections for each of my tasks. So this looks like a task right now, but as soon as I hit a colon, then it bumps that sucker up to a task. Excuse me, to a section. Then I can do task 1, task 2, task 3, and then I want to add another section. And as soon as I hit colon again, then it takes me right to. So the beautiful part about this is the idea flow. So Asana puts a really great little video together about how to use it for brainstorming sessions and brainstorming meetings and whatnot. And what it allows us to do, like in particular, when we're kind of game planning our to-do list, you're kind of busting out a big old list of stuff that's just off the top of your head to make sure that you get everything. I don't have to leave this little section right here to be able to kind of organize stuff. I can be typing like all I want, task 2, and all I'm doing is hitting the enter key. And then now I'm going to go, okay, now I'm going to talk about my bills so I can make sure I've got all those covered. Then I'm going to do, bill 1, bill 2, bill 3. Then I'm going to do clients, colon. And I'm not moving. All I'm doing is the only difference between my section and my task is whether I put a colon behind it or not. So allowing us to put sections in our lists would be absolutely phenomenally helpful. If I'm building a list and and I've got my tasks going, same thing. I want to be able to have, if the list is a project, let's say for example, if my list is my project or my list is my client, I want to be able to have sections in my list so that I'm differentiating them so I can have it all kind of broken out that way. That would be the first element that I really, really am missing. And then the second has to do with your subtask options. So love all the functionality of adding the files, love the comments, love the notes section and it being able to grow. The problem that I've got is the limited ability in a subtask. So let's say, for example, that this task here is website update. Okay. I want them to do a website update, and then here are the specific tasks that I want to do, and it's change slider image to look like Google's whatever, then check responsiveness on blog page, whatever, it doesn't matter. But I can't go into any details on this. I don't have any ability for a subtask to provide any details, which is kind of ridiculous. You give me, you want me to be able to put a subtask, and I can't, and I can't get into the specifics of it any longer. I have to keep the notes in the notes section for a subtask up here, and that's just, that's just really not intuitive. It doesn't really promote good workflow. And actually for that matter, now I mentioned two things, but there are really three things. Not only do I want a sub level of the same sort of things like what Asana does, for example, here, I'll take this task here, and then I've got my descriptions and my comments and I can add my attachments, I can add my tags, the same same thing. I can create a sub list, and when I create subtasks, and I click on each of the subtasks here, I can assign them to who I need to. And then I can go into and add more details of it and have comments on it and be able to have a discussion on that. So if I put a subtask and I assign it to one of my people, first of all, I can assign it to people. Second of all, down here I can assign it to whomever. Third of all, when I assign it to one of my people, if they're not clear on what it is I'm talking about, I can't get commentary on that particular subtask. You know, that's really, you know, and I can't both assign and assign due dates for the subtask. So if you can simply just copy the functionality that you guys have in your tasks into your subtasks, just duplicate the same functionality and details specifically for one task, and just duplicate that into the subtask subsection. That's it, including, by incidentally, the ability to assign it to someone. So so those are kind of the three biggest things. Please allow us to put sections in our list, break up the list into sections, and then just copy the same functionality in your current tasks to the subtasks. I can't imagine that's two incredibly difficult or incredibly complex things, but that in my case in particular, and I'm sure a lot of other people's cases, that is kind of comprehensive workflow. That kind of covers everything. So I would be so grateful if you guys could do that and do it quickly, and then someone could let me know. I'm a little concerned about all the integration and migration over to Microsoft if all of a sudden the development's going to stop on the platform. And as much as I love Wunderlist and I'm a huge advocate for it, those things really do continue to kind of get under the skin and bug us. So I appreciate you looking at it. Thanks, guys.